You need to have an investment strategy or complementary investment strategies using multiple that's appropriate for your financial plan and your risk tolerance. But that doesn't mean you should have the exact same investment strategy in each and every account. I'm going to explain the best investment strategies for Roth accounts, that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. One of the mistakes that we see from a lot of folks that come in here for the first time, and we see this mistake by a lot of financial professionals as well, is that once determining the right investment strategy, and by the way, for most people that is just diversification. I'm not suggesting that it should just be just that, but most people, that is what they employ. I think you should use multiple strategies because sometimes diversification, not having all your eggs in one basket, they all move as if they're in the same basket. And that's exactly at a time when you need diversification the most. So we like having multiple strategies, all appropriate for your situation and they complement each other. But most people have that strategy, say it's 80-20 or 60-40, percentage between stocks, bonds, US, large, mid, small, and international, and so on. And then they apply that same thing. They just stamp it out in every account. Oh, for the IRA, boom. For the Roth IRA, boom. For the 401k, boom. It's the same mix. See this a lot with financial advisors as well. A lot of times that doesn't make sense. If you look at that entire picture, that pie, okay, 80-20, let's say that, it would be ideal for you to take the 80% that's stocks and have that in your Roth, and maybe the very passive ones, the ones that are not actively managed, if you're just using an index, have those in a non-IRA account if you have an account with, that's not a tax shelter. And then you'd take your 20%, that's just bonds or fixed income, and you'd throw that into your IRA. If you look at it from a household level, okay, you're 80-20. You've got the right recipe or the right mix that's appropriate, ideally for your financial plan, your risk tolerance, you can sleep well at night, you've got the right growth potential to achieve your goals. I'm oversimplifying. So at a household level, you'd reach that equilibrium, right? But you would have optimized the investment holdings and strategies based on the taxability of the different tax shelters that you're using. That's just an example. That's just an approach. That's the level of thinking and intentionality that you, and really your certified financial planner, needs to have in crafting the right investment mix. There's 6 areas to your financial life. Investment planning is one of them, but it's not isolated. It's connected to your tax picture. It's connected to your retirement plan. It's connected to your present financial position, your cash flow. So your financial life needs to be integrated, and you need to consider your investment strategies based on the tax structure of each of those accounts. Well, you guys know I'm a big fan of the Roth IRA. Get teased about it a lot. Michael, Paul, Roth, Bernard. It's not my true middle name, but I love the Roth. It's not one size fits all, but I love it. What types of investment strategies are appropriate for the Roth? It doesn't mean they're not appropriate for other accounts, but they certainly are appropriate for the Roth. Well, the first thing I think of is growth-oriented investments. So stock type investments are very, very appropriate for the Roth IRA. Why? Because those have the most long-term growth potential. Yes, on any given day, month, quarter, year, couple of years, it could be bad performance, underperformance, but over long-term, stock type investments, growth type investments give you the most potential for growth. And why is that appropriate for the Roth? That's appropriate for any account, by the way, but in the Roth, that growth is tax-free. So we don't see it often, but sometimes without that intentionality, people have low growth investments in their Roth IRA. That's inconsistent. You want to have high growth potential investments, stock-oriented investments in the Roth. So that's one. Second, investments that have higher volatility, potentially higher future reward. So these could be not just stock investments or stock funds, could be individual stocks, right? That would be appropriate for a Roth IRA type strategy or Roth account where you're holding, and you still need to be diversified. You still need to have the right risk tolerance for your financial goals, as well as to help you sleep at night and all that. But individual stock investments, individual stock portfolios very appropriate for the Roth as well. Even if some of those have dividends, while not ideal, it can be appropriate for the Roth because that dividend, that income would be tax-free. But ideally, you want growth type investments, so stock, equity type investments, even individual stock portfolios, very appropriate for the Roth. And then third, another excellent type of strategy in a Roth, not that I'm recommending any of this for anyone individually, you got to work with your certified financial planner, but actively managed investments. That's where I say an individual stock portfolio, one that, well, you're holding a basket of 15 stocks right now, and maybe you look at it every quarter and you have the chance of making a trade or something like that here or there. Within the Roth, that trading isn't taxable, it's all tax sheltered. If you want to use mutual funds or some sort of fund, if that fund is actively managed, there's not going to be any capital gain distributions that will be taxable to you in the Roth. Those will all be tax sheltered. You've got the growth potential while also that tax sheltering as well. So growth-oriented investments, high volatility potential, high reward, even active type strategies, all appropriate for the Roth. What would be less appropriate or less ideal are bond or low risk type of investments, and simply because yes, if they're paying a interest, that interest would grow tax-free in the Roth. However, there's not a lot of growth potential with bond or lower type risk investments, and therefore that tax-free growth, tax sheltering and tax-free growth from the Roth is maybe neutralized. One of the mistakes that we see a lot of people make is, again, whatever that investment strategy is that they feel or their advisor feels is appropriate, they just stamp it out in each portfolio. I mentioned that, or each type of account, not a good idea. But the other one is when your emotions get whipsawed based on how the market's behaving or some recent volatility, and you say, no, I got to make a change. I can't stomach this. I thought I could handle it, but I can't. I'm going to make a change in all my accounts, get out of stocks. If you do that, if you need to do that, make sure you're working with your certified financial planner. But I would consider staying higher risk in the Roth simply because the likelihood, even if your instinct is right and things get worse before they get better, the likelihood that you're going to be able to reverse course, get back in at the bottom and be able to have a lot of appreciation is unlikely. And yet allowing the Roth to ride through those ups and downs, again, gives you that higher long-term growth potential tax-free in the Roth. Are you taking that intentional approach with your investments, making sure that the types of investment strategies are appropriate for your financial situation to reach your goals, for your risk tolerance, but also for the taxation and the unique tax structure of the tax shelter strategy that you're using? Whether that's 401k, whether that's Roth IRA, whether that's non-IRA, making sure that you've got the right ingredients, the right tools in each of those accounts to fully leverage your financial situation. Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go on, take your next wise step in your financial life.